Have you ever wondered if the man you're dating sees you as temporary companionship or as someone he genuinely wants to build a future with? At our age, distinguishing between casual companionship and serious commitment intentions can save us from investing months or years in relationships that were never meant to last. Welcome back to 60 Wise Living Advice, where we celebrate the beauty, wisdom, and endless possibilities of life after 60. Today, we're exploring 7 clear signs that distinguish a man who sees you as wife material from one who simply enjoys your company for now. These aren't subtle hints that require detective work. They're clear behavioral patterns that reveal his true intentions and feelings about your relationship's potential. The wisdom writer Maya Angelou taught us, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. At our age, we've learned to pay attention to actions rather than words, to patterns rather than promises. The signs we're discussing today are revealed through consistent behavior over time, not grand declarations or momentary gestures. Before we explore these telling signs, let me share something important. This isn't about judging any man's timeline or pressuring anyone into commitment. It's about understanding the difference between a man who's genuinely evaluating you as a life partner and one who's content with things staying exactly as they are. Both are valid choices, but knowing which situation you're in helps you make informed decisions about your own investment and expectations. The beauty of dating after 60 is that both people have enough life experience to recognize what they want and what they don't. When a mature man sees wife material, his behavior shifts in specific, recognizable ways that demonstrate he's thinking beyond today into a shared tomorrow. So let's explore these 7 unmistakable signs that he's not just enjoying your company, he's evaluating you as his potential life partner. The first sign: he integrates you into his existing life. The first clear sign that he sees you as wife material is how naturally and eagerly he integrates you into his existing life, rather than keeping you in a separate dating compartment. This isn't about rushing you into every aspect of his world, but about genuinely wanting you to meet the people and see the places that matter to him. When a man is serious about your long-term potential, he stops thinking of you as someone he dates and starts thinking of you as someone who belongs in his life. This means introducing you to his adult children, inviting you to family gatherings, including you in his established friend circles, and sharing his regular activities and interests with you. The key difference is intention and enthusiasm. A man who sees you as temporary might eventually introduce you to others, but he'll often seem hesitant or treat it as a necessary step rather than something he's excited about. A man who sees wife material can't wait to show you off and share his world with you. Margaret, 67, recognized this shift with Robert when he began eagerly planning ways for her to meet his daughter and son-in-law. It wasn't just, "Maybe sometime you'll meet them," she shared. He was actively coordinating schedules, talking about what his daughter would love about me, planning activities we could all enjoy together. He wanted me woven into his family fabric, not standing beside it. This integration also shows up in everyday ways. He stops making separate plans and starts automatically including you in his thinking. His weekly golf game becomes our Saturday morning. I'll pick you up after golf. His regular dinner with friends becomes, would you like to join us? I think you'd really enjoy their conversation. What makes this particularly meaningful is that mature men are often protective of their established routines and relationships. When a man willingly reshapes his regular patterns to include you, he's demonstrating that he sees you as a permanent addition to his life, not a temporary visitor to it. The man who sees you as wife material doesn't compartmentalize. He integrates, because he's testing how well you fit into the life he's already built and envisioning how that life could be enhanced by your permanent presence.
The second sign, he plans future events naturally and consistently. The second unmistakable sign is how naturally and consistently he includes you in future plans, not just next week or next month, but months and even seasons ahead. This isn't about formal commitments or relationship pressure. It's about the automatic assumption that you'll be part of his future experiences. When a man sees wife material, future planning becomes a natural part of conversation. He mentions concerts happening next fall, talks about holiday traditions you might enjoy, or discusses vacation ideas for next year. These aren't pressured conversations about where this relationship is going. They're organic expressions of a mind that can't imagine navigating future experiences without you. The consistency is key. A man might occasionally mention future possibilities with anyone, but when he sees wife material, these references become a regular pattern. His mental calendar automatically includes you, and he speaks about future events as shared experiences rather than individual plans he might invite you to join. Dorothy, 69, noticed this pattern with James when he began consistently speaking about seasonal activities they could enjoy together. It started with him mentioning a summer concert series and asking if I thought I'd enjoy it, she explained. But then it became a pattern. The art festival next spring, his cousin's wedding in the fall, even talking about how we might spend the holidays. He wasn't pressuring me to commit, he was naturally assuming I'd be part of his future experiences. This future-focused thinking reveals something crucial. He's not just enjoying your present company, he's actively envisioning how you'll enhance his future experiences. When a man begins automatically including you in his mental planning for months ahead, he's demonstrating that he can't imagine those experiences without you. The difference between casual dating and wife material evaluation is that future references become automatic rather than calculated, natural rather than forced, and consistent rather than occasional. His mind has shifted from enjoying her now to building experiences with her.
The third sign, he seeks your opinion on important decisions in his life. Not just asking for your thoughts to be polite, but actually valuing your perspective and using it to inform his choices. When a man sees you as a potential life partner, he starts thinking of important decisions as something you should weigh in on because they'll affect both of you. This might include career choices, family matters, financial decisions, living situations, or even major purchases. He recognizes that if he's serious about your future together, your opinion matters because you'll be living with the consequences too. This is different from casual conversation about his life challenges. When he sees wife material, he approaches you as a trusted advisor whose wisdom and perspective he genuinely values. He doesn't just want sympathy or someone to listen. He wants your actual input because he respects your judgment and sees you as someone whose insights can help him make better decisions. Linda, 64, experienced this shift with Thomas when he was considering early retirement. At first, he would just mention his work frustrations or talk about retirement as a distant possibility, she recalled. But then he started really asking for my thoughts. What did I think about his financial planning? How did I see retirement lifestyle working? What were my concerns or suggestions? He wasn't just venting. He was consulting me as someone whose opinion would influence his decision. The key is that he doesn't just ask for your thoughts. He actually considers them seriously and references your input when making his final decisions. You can see your influence in his choices, and he acknowledges your role in helping him think through important matters. This behavior reveals that he's begun thinking of you as a true partner whose judgment he trusts and whose life will be intertwined with his. Men don't seek serious input from temporary companions, but they absolutely do from women they're evaluating as life partners.
The fourth sign,
He talks about we instead of I. The fourth revealing sign is a subtle but powerful shift in his language. He begins naturally using we instead of I when discussing activities, preferences, and even future plans. This linguistic change reflects a fundamental shift in how he sees your relationship and his life. When a man starts seeing you as wife material, his identity begins expanding to include you. What once were individual preferences become couple preferences. His activities become your shared activities. His plans naturally incorporate your presence. This isn't a conscious decision, it's an unconscious expression of how he's begun thinking about his life. You'll notice this in everyday conversation. Instead of "I love Italian food," it becomes "We love trying new Italian restaurants." Instead of "I'm thinking about going to that art exhibit," it becomes "We should check out that art exhibit." Instead of "I usually spend holidays with my daughter," it becomes "We'll probably spend Christmas with my daughter this year." Patricia, 71, noticed this linguistic shift with David over several months. At first, he would tell me about his preferences or plans and then ask what I thought. But gradually, he started automatically speaking as if we were a unit. He'd say things like, "We prefer quiet restaurants," or "We're not really into crowded events." It wasn't forced or calculated, it just became his natural way of thinking and speaking. This shift in language reflects a deeper psychological change. He stopped thinking of himself as an individual who happens to be dating you and started thinking of himself as part of a couple. This is a crucial distinction that separates casual companionship from serious partnership consideration. The we language also extends to future planning and problem solving. Instead of "I need to figure out what to do about my mother's care," it becomes "We need to think about how to handle my mother's situation." He's begun seeing life's challenges and opportunities as things you'll navigate together rather than individually.
The fifth sign. He introduces you specifically and proudly. The fifth sign that he sees you as wife material is how he introduces you to others. Not just the fact that he introduces you, but the specific way he does it, and the obvious pride he takes in presenting you as part of his life. When a man is serious about your long-term potential, his introductions become warm, specific, and filled with genuine pride. Instead of a casual, "This is Margaret," he might say, "I'd like you to meet Margaret. She's the one I've been telling you about." Or, "This is Margaret. She's become such an important part of my life." The introduction itself communicates that you're significant, not just present. You can hear the difference in his tone and see it in his body language. He stands a little taller, speaks with more warmth, and often includes details that show he's been talking about you to these people before. He's not just making an introduction. He's making a presentation of someone who matters deeply to him. Eleanor, 68, recognized this when William began introducing her to his friends and colleagues. "The difference was remarkable," she explained. Instead of just saying my name, he would say things like, "This is Eleanor, the woman who's been making my life so much brighter." Or, "Meet Eleanor. She's the reason I've been smiling so much lately." He wasn't just introducing me, he was celebrating me. This proud introduction style also extends to how he talks about you when you're not there. You'll start hearing from mutual friends or acquaintances that he speaks about you with obvious affection and pride. He shares stories about your conversations, your activities together, your insights or accomplishments. You become a favorite topic of conversation, not because he's obsessed, but because he's genuinely proud to be associated with you. The key difference is emotional investment. A man introducing casual company might be pleasant and polite, but a man introducing wife material is proud and possessive in the most positive way. He wants people to understand that you're special to him and that he feels fortunate to have you in his life.
The sixth sign is he shows interest in your world and relationships. The sixth sign that he views you as wife material is his genuine interest in your world, your family, friends, interests, and the relationships that matter to you. This goes beyond polite curiosity to active engagement and investment in the people and activities that make up your life. When a man sees long-term potential, he recognizes that loving you means embracing your entire world, not just the parts that involve him. He asks follow-up questions about your friends, remembers details about your family members, shows interest in your hobbies and passions, and even expressed interest in meeting your closest friends. It was clear he wasn't just dating me, he was embracing my entire life. The sincerity of this interest is crucial. When a man sees wife material, his curiosity about your world is genuine, not performative. He asks questions because he truly wants to understand and connect with the people and activities that matter to you, recognizing that they're part of the package of loving you completely. This behavior also demonstrates emotional maturity and relationship readiness. He understands that serious partnership means blending lives, not just sharing activities. And he's actively evaluating how well your worlds might integrate and complement each other.
The seventh and perhaps most telling sign is when he begins naturally discussing practical considerations for a shared future, not as pressure or ultimatums, but as realistic planning conversations about how your lives might logically work together. This might include conversations about living arrangements, financial compatibility, family obligations, health considerations, or lifestyle preferences. These aren't romantic discussions about dreams and possibilities. They're practical conversations about the nuts and bolts of actually building a life together. When a man sees wife material, he starts thinking practically about how a permanent relationship would actually function. He might bring up topics like whose house is better situated for both your needs, how you might handle holiday traditions with both families, or how your different financial approaches might work together. These conversations show he's moved beyond romantic fantasy into realistic partnership planning. Thomas, 72, demonstrated this with Linda when he began discussing practical considerations openly and thoughtfully. He started bringing up real-world questions, Linda shared. Things like how we might handle our different relationships with our adult children, what we'd do about his dog and my cat, how we might structure our finances if we got serious. These weren't pressure conversations, they were planning conversations from someone thinking seriously about our practical compatibility. The key is that these discussions feel natural and collaborative rather than pressured or one-sided. He's not pushing for immediate decisions, but exploring whether your practical lives could realistically merge successfully. He's doing the kind of thinking that precedes serious commitment because he wants to ensure that romantic feelings are supported by practical compatibility. These conversations also reveal his relationship maturity. He understands that lasting partnership requires more than emotional connection. It requires practical compatibility and shared vision for handling life's everyday realities together. When a man begins naturally discussing practical future considerations, he's demonstrating that he's moved from enjoying your company to seriously evaluating whether you could build a successful life together.
As we reach the end of our exploration today, I want you to embrace this empowering truth. You deserve to know where you stand in someone's heart and future plans. The 7 signs we've explored: life integration, future planning, seeking your input, we language, proud introductions, interest in your world, and practical discussions. These aren't subtle hints requiring interpretation. They're clear behavioral patterns that reveal a man's true intentions and level of serious interest. What makes these signs so reliable is that they represent consistent patterns over time, not isolated moments or calculated gestures. When a man genuinely sees you as wife material, these behaviors emerge naturally because his thinking has fundamentally shifted from enjoying temporary companionship to evaluating permanent partnership. The beauty of recognizing these signs is that they help you invest your time and emotional energy wisely. At our age, we understand the value of both time and authentic connection. When you can clearly see that a man is seriously considering you as a life partner, you can respond with appropriate openness and investment. When these signs are absent, you can adjust your expectations and make informed decisions about how much of yourself to invest. Remember that the absence of these signs doesn't necessarily mean he's not a good man, or that you're not wonderful. It may simply mean you're not the right match for each other's long-term vision. Better to know this clearly than to spend months or years hoping for a level of commitment that isn't developing. The right man for you will demonstrate through consistent actions that he sees you as someone special enough to integrate into his life, plan a future with, seek counsel from, speak about proudly, and build something lasting with. When you encounter this level of genuine interest and valuation, you'll know you're being considered not just as pleasant company, but as a true life partner. If this message has helped clarify where you might stand in someone's affections, please consider subscribing to our 60 Wise Living Advice family. When you subscribe, you're joining a community of women who believe we deserve clarity, respect, and genuine commitment in our relationships at every age. And please share this video with another woman who might benefit from understanding these signs of serious interest. Sometimes we all need help distinguishing between polite companionship and genuine partnership potential, and recognizing these patterns can save us from investing in relationships that were never meant to become permanent. Until we meet again next week, remember this: you deserve someone who doesn't just enjoy your company, but actively envisions building a life with you. When you encounter genuine wife material consideration, you'll see it clearly in consistent actions that demonstrate you're not just part of his present, you're central to his vision of the future. Keep valuing yourself enough to seek clarity, beautiful souls. The world needs women who understand their worth and insist on relationships that honor and celebrate that worth with authentic commitment and genuine partnership planning.